face, grief clearly etched in every feature, while the howling wind tossed her short, dark brown hair around her head in all directions. Dressed in all black, her fists were clenched tightly in her lap, as if it were all she could do not to shake them at the heavens for taking her beloved Grammy away too soon. Her pointy, high-heeled black pumps tapped out a nervous rhythm on the dry winter grass, suggesting she might kick the shins of the first person who dared express any hint of sympathy. Donny Joe planned to keep his distance. By contrast, her older sister Belle had arrived in Everson just in time for the service. Ah, Belle. They'd had a mainly one-sided flirtation one summer a long time ago, and he hadn't seen her since. She'd grown into an attractive, and from all appearances, even-tempered woman. Sitting demurely, ankles crossed, she wore a simple gray dress set off by a wide-brimmed black hat. A veil covered her face, giving her the air of an Italian film actress. She sobbed quietly behind the filmy material, while her daughter Daphne stared straight ahead, not squirming or wiggling around like most young kids he knew. In fact, she showed no emotion of any kind. Donny wished he could be as stoic. Miss Hazel's death had hit him harder than he'd expected. Despite her untimely demise, she'd lived a good life, and the gathered crowd was a testament to how many people she'd touched. Shivering in the cold of the cemetery, surrounded by the grave markers of Everson's deceased, made him wonder about his own life. Who would shed a tear if he was to meet his maker tomorrow? Would anybody really give a damn if he lived or died? It gave a man pause. Brother East, the Baptist preacher, asked everyone to bow their heads in prayer. Then, after a chorus of murmured amens, he instructed the pallbearers to say their final farewells by placing their boutonnieres on top of the half-lowered glossy white casket. Donny Joe removed the pearl-tipped pin holding the pink rosebud onto his lapel and trailed along in line with the others. Each man said a quick goodbye to Miss Hazel and laid their rose beside the giant funeral spray that adorned the box holding her remains. Donny Joe could feel his eyes start to water and blamed it on the stinging wind. When it was his turn, he stopped and took a moment with his thoughts. "Goodbye, Miss Hazel," he said in a choked voice. "I'm gonna miss you." He glanced up and his gaze locked unwillingly with Etta Green's. She lifted an eyebrow, as if doubting his sincerity, and maybe his manhood, too. What the hell was her problem? Rattled, he broke eye contact and stepped forward, boutonniere in hand. His foot caught on a half-buried tree root, a root from the stately old oak that would stand sentry over Miss Hazel's final resting place. He stumbled, arms flailing, and then he fell. Fellow pallbearer Mitchell Crowley made a grab for him, catching only a handful of his suit coat as he landed squarely on top of the funeral spray and the casket underneath. Half the crowd gasped, and the other half laughed like things were just starting to get interesting. For a stunned moment he lay there, his breath sawing in and out of his chest, feeling the polished wood and crushed blossoms pressed against his cheek, clutching the ornate edging that outlined the lid of the coffin to steady himself. The overwhelming floral smell filled his nose, and he could feel the tickle of a sneeze building. Achoo! "Bless you, Donny Joe," someone yelled from the buzzing crowd. That got him moving. A shower of roses, carnations, daisies, and lilies of every color and hue scattered like a potpourri of rats deserting a sinking ship, while he scrambled on hands and knees to get up. Phone cameras appeared throughout the crowd, capturing the moment for posterity. Mitchell finally got a grip on one of his arms and helped haul him to his feet. "Get a hold of yourself, buddy. We're all gonna miss her, but she's in a better place now." "Sorry. Geez, I'm really sorry." Donny straightened up, rearranging his coat and brushing off his pants. The crowd mumbled and tittered, probably discussing how much he'd had to drink. Undoubtedly dismayed by his oafish performance, Miss Hazel's granddaughters now stood, and he put out a hand in their direction, an apology of sorts. Belle Green lifted her veil,